So let's get on to the first section of today. So I'm going to welcome to speak in a moment Carla and Evie, who are going to tell you a little bit more about the information that you might need to help you understand a little bit more about what Blue Schools is all about, and then also a little bit about the piece of work that we've been doing, so the handbook that we've been creating. So I'm going to pass over to Carla just now. So Carla Lorenko is part of the European Blue School coordinating team. She's a project officer at Ciencia Viva, and she's a marine biologist and passionate about communicating how the ocean shapes our lives and how each individual can make a difference in contributing to a healthy planet. So Carla, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Nicola, for this joyful introduction. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to present you this warming initiative that we call Network of European Blue Schools. I'm going to tell you why it is being created, what it is. But first of all, let us just recall how inappropriate it is to call this planet Earth when it is quite clearly ocean. And we are directly and indirectly linked to the ocean. Whether we live by the coast or whether we live up in the mountains, we are connected to it through what we eat, we drink, we breathe, we use, and even how we relax and how we enjoy life. So the ocean is our planet's life support system. And that's why it is such a priority to protect it and to understand it. And while the ocean and the seas are suffering under increasing human pressure, truth is that over the last 15, 16 years, scientists, educators, municipalities, NGOs have been empowering citizens throughout Europe and, well, throughout the world under projects and initiatives to increase their knowledge about the ocean and also to make them responsible for their actions and giving them the tools to know what decisions to make in order to protect the ocean. Because if we are protecting the ocean, we are protecting ourselves. So with this in mind, the EU4Ocean Coalition, which is supported by the European Commission, DG Mar, as we have been listening to all this day, creates now the network of European Blue Schools. So what is this network? Previously, I was saying why it is important to know the ocean, and this is the rationale behind the network. This network is the basis of collaborative work of schools that have the ocean as a central interest. Schools that want to further explore how they are linked to the ocean, whether they live right by the coast or in an inland community with no link to the ocean. Because the thing is that, and while we speak about ocean literacy, we are not only talking about the big blue, we are talking about all aquatic ecosystems. So rivers, lakes, mangroves, all this needs to be considered. So not only the big blue that it's offshore and mostly unknown. USHIN. So as we are speaking about a network of schools, obviously we consider students, we consider teachers, education professionals, but not only these people. We intend to have on board entities and institutions that might think they are not directly linked to the ocean, but they are. And in this case, it could be the youth that we just heard in the other workshop, or even the platform members. And as I was saying, even if some entities might think that they might not be related, we have here the opportunity to show that that's not the case and that we can work together on this. Why? If I have here teachers listening to me, and I hope we have some other teachers apart from our speakers, I want to convince you. So there's 4 or 5 really good reasons. The first of all is to make your students agents of change, to make your students the change that we want to see in the world. And for them to protect the ocean, they need to know the ocean, they need to understand it. And also they can share experience, and you as a teacher can share experience with other schools in your country or outside your country. You can find inspiration and you can have support to do those actions, to develop those projects on the thematics that you most like. So obviously we can give you suggestions, but we don't enforce you specifically to work on such a topic. You can choose, so you have here the liberty to choose. And while doing this, you will work towards receiving the European Blue School certification. So your school, by working on the ocean, will have this label, will have this certification, and the teachers involved in it will have specific training to accomplish this. How are we doing this? So if we think not only on a technical way, technical supporting way, we need to consider that this is a wide EU effort to bring in interested parties together. As I was saying, not only schools, but other institutions, other entities, NGOs, companies, all these to work together, and no country will be left behind. And when we speak about this, we want to make clear that this needs to be inclusive. This is an inclusive approach, an inclusive network. And an example is the handbook that my colleague Evie will tell you about in a couple of minutes, that is now starting to be written in English, but it will be translated to as many languages as we speak in Europe. And this reflects the fit for purpose that we want to accomplish and we want to share with you. An approach that includes diversity of cultures, diversity of educational contexts. So we are all aboard the same ship, and we can work together on this. And it's not this network, this approach, it's not fixed now, it's not blocked, closed. It will improve through time, it will adapt, it will evolve with your opinions, with your feedback, because we are starting, but we need to get better and better, and we can only do that with your feedback and with your support. And also on this fit for purpose, or not leaving anyone behind, we will make sure that both coastal and landlocked schools of the different sea basins will be involved, because the ocean doesn't need to be that big blue thing that it's offshore and it's only a part of the population can reach. We can all be linked to it. We are all linked to it. So we need to work all together on this. And the projects might be from secondary level or primary level. They can last 1 year and jump to the other school year, or they can only last a few months. This is up to the teachers, to the students who are working on that. But it will encompass the different realities. And the teachers and the students, they have the opportunity then to participate in sea basin events and to exchange knowledge, activities, experiences in these initiatives. And one of the maybe most important things that we need to tell you about and we want to make clear is that we are not competing with each other on this. When we speak about collaboration, when we speak about cooperation, it's because we want to work together with the other European initiatives, with the other European programs that already work on the ocean or with ocean thematics. So for instance, if we speak about Eco Schools, which is a well-known international program on the environment, on sustainability, on the ocean, we are not competing. We are rather working together, and this is what we want, to reduce bureaucracy, to reduce the amount of work that teachers might have while working on different programs. This is to be kind of an umbrella of different approaches to make sure that we can all work together on this. On a more technical approach on how to do this, we have now, we are finishing it, a back office platform to assist teachers on applications. The same way we will have the European platform where the participants, where the teachers will share their projects, where they can exchange experiences, they can discuss with each other, work together if that's the case. We will have resources to assist this work, and specifically, apart from training that we will produce, we have our most important tool, which is the handbook that is going to be released really soon, as well as the registration for the European Blue Schools certification. And apart from this, because the certification is for schools, not for students or for teachers, the certification is given to schools. We will also acknowledge teachers, this dynamic, inspiring, strong adults who guide the students and who will be named, or what we warmly call blue teachers. And in the end of the event, of the project of EU4Ocean, we will award the most inspiring projects. Now, how to move on to this. You have to register at the Maritime Forum. This is the first step. And then when registering to become a European Blue School, which is, it will be released pretty soon, you have to follow, you have to understand the criteria, and Evie will just show you a glimpse of that. Follow the criteria to become European Blue School and register your project. And now, just going back a bit to one of the first slides, where I was saying that this planet is mostly water, we must not forget about that. And we must not forget that if there's no water, there's no life. And if there's no blue, there's no green, as Sylvia would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carla. Really passionate. And I hope that helps a little bit to kind of, helps you to understand that this really is grassroots. This isn't, let's make some resources and give them to teachers. This is, let's bring teachers together right from the start to build this project and the projects together. So that's why we believe really that this really could work. So any teachers you know, let them know. Okay, so next we're going to find out a little bit more about the handbook that we've been creating, and that has been created because of focus groups that we've had, as I said in the intro earlier on this morning, with real teachers. So Evie's going to tell us how far we are with that and a bit more information. Evie is one of my favourite people in the entire world. She is part of the European Marine Science Educators Association, founding member, and she's also part of the European Blue School coordinating team. So she's a geography teacher by training, and has also worked for 13 years as a marine science educator and communicator at the Flanders Marine Institute. So Evie, over to you. But just quickly, if you've got any questions forming in your mind, folks, there'll be a couple of minutes after Evie's spoken to just pop those on the Slido that Vanessa will share. So think of some questions. Evie, thanks.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Nicola, for introducing me. Now, let me start by saying that the handbook, which I'm about to present, is not entirely finished. Frankly, we expect it to be truly finished in about 5 years from now, as this is a community effort, and we will improve it every year so it can fit to the quickly changing education realities. We do have a first edition though, which we consider already great, as it was created after consulting with our national contacts and about 75 marine education specialists and 300 teachers. So I would like to thank them all today to work with us during the lockdown and such a challenging teaching situation we have today. So we went to work with their advice on what a European Blue School should be. Some of the points you see here that I will explain in this very short presentation. So, our education model of a European Blue School, it exists of 10 keys, or you can call them criteria, to become a Blue School that you see here. The model is simple, yet it has all the ingredients to make a change in the school and in the community. Our main foundations are that a class develops a Find the Blue challenge. Through this Find the Blue challenge, the students explore how they are connected to the ocean or the sea, and whether they live close by or far away. And this project, it has, of course, interlinked activities, and it produces a clear output. And we find it important that it involves all the students in the class in every step of the project management and the implementation. So the students, they feel empowered and also responsible for their project. And this is done together with a local partner. So we want them to collaborate with somebody from the ocean stakeholders, and that is shared with the community. Those are the 5 criteria that are mandatory to receive a certification of a European Blue School. So we think that all classes in Europe have the capacity to set up such a project. In a more advanced Blue project, you see further teachers can offer their students more authentic learning experiences, such as taking them out to the sea or a river. They can start working multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary, or mobilize more than one classroom in their school, or perhaps the kitchen in the school. Or, they can even collaborate with a school at the coast or inland, depending on where they are, or go beyond the borders and establish a connection with a school from another country. Such type of projects, they depend greatly on which education system you're in, and they might not always be possible to develop. But once you start with the Blue project, you will see that there are always opportunities to take your project one step further. So this education model of a Blue School, it is based on several important initiatives, programs, policies, and frameworks. A few of them you can see here, and they are further explained in the handbook. You can see here, of course, the ocean literacy movement started by our American friends who built an ocean literacy framework for schools. And then you also have the Portuguese school label, Escola Azul, which is a true role model for this initiative. And there are, of course, other successful school labels, such as the French Air Marine Educative, which have been here a long time, also like eco schools, and they're all a great source of inspiration for this certificate. Further, you see in the European Blue Schools, we let students explore active European citizenship through the ocean subjects. And via connecting to ocean stakeholders, they get to know the European blue economy and perhaps possible blue careers as well. Lastly, being in education for such a long time, you discover that an inquiry-based or project-based model proves to be a successful learning strategy as the students can explore themselves. And also for us, it seems imperative to build a connection to the sea, so and bring students to the coast or the river. Especially in these times, outdoor learning will become more and more important to keep our students healthy. Okay, in the handbook for a beginning teacher, we developed a step-by-step guide, taking you through all the criteria. We want to emphasize that developing a Find the Blue challenge starts with first a creative and democratic process, where the teacher facilitates the selection of a real-life topic by the students, which they will investigate. We believe the students are perfectly capable to design their own project and to go outside the classroom and connect themselves to the local ocean stakeholders and the community. And this will make students experts for their project. So, as in all teaching activities, it must be based on the national curriculum, of course. So we called in the help of European Schoolnet to analyze several of the school curricula in 9 countries, which you can see here, and to find blue entry points in the curriculum. It's needless to say that the ocean is not an integral part of the school curricula as such, and it reflects that ocean blindness that you also see in the society. But current ocean issues such as climate change and ocean health, they can be easily linked to the different subjects in the European curricula. From science courses, languages, sports, arts, you can marinate the curriculum topics and add in this way more ocean content to your classroom. So in the handbook, we will show a few of the so many great projects out there that are the work of maybe a single individual passionate teacher, or have been set up by scientists or scientific institute who wishes to share its enthusiasm for the ocean. So in this handbook, you will see about 30 amazing projects which are really worth of your attention. And later, all these projects and all the schools that have received the European Blue School certification will have their own webpage at the Maritime Forum website. So look at the work of the other teachers, get inspired, and see what works for you and for your students. Via the Maritime Forum website, which you probably already know now, and via eTwinning, we will have a group on Blue Schools. We will share all the resources that are made by the teachers in the network. Those who have seen the previous workshops today, they know that the EU4Ocean Platform has already maybe 100 providers of resources, and there more will join. So it is our aim to be a gateway for teachers to all of these resources. In the handbook, we bring European Atlas of the Seas under the attention as, guess what? It is now available in 24 languages. So a great education tool for your projects. Check it out. It was already mentioned by Carla. It brings me to this point, language. This is one of the main issues that we find a challenge within our association, MC. Although you all seem to understand my Dutch-like English, English is in most cases not your first language, I know that. We can communicate a little bit using our hands and a smile, but in a classroom, we still need to translate all those English resources. Therefore, we encourage teachers in your project to go to the local ocean stakeholders. Use their resources from your region, in your language. And this project, we will start also, of course, by translating this handbook over the course of the project into all languages. And then we will see in the forum what else we can do to tackle this problem. Last in the handbook, and of course on the website, you will find all the information you need to get that European Blue School certificate and become a member of our community. So teachers, get to work, and I look very much forward to see all your projects. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much, Evie. That was, yes, get to work. Come on. So do we have time just for some very quick questions on Slido, Vanessa?
Yes, we'll now share the screen of the Slido, and I will share it for people that has a QR code in their phones. They have just to read the QR code that will appear now in your screen, or you can just, I have put it now in the chat, you can go to slido.com and put the hashtag EU Blue School to enter the question and answer, and you can start now just putting questions, and they will be answered by Carla and Evie in just a few minutes. I hope in 1 minute probably.
Okay.
We
there we go. First question. And my colleague Jenny from the Marine Conservation Society in the UK. I'm going to pass that one to Carla, I think. How can other organisations get involved? Thank you.
Yeah, so I was saying the network might be considered especially for schools, but other organizations who want to be involved, they will have to register as well. So they don't need to register to get the certification, obviously, but they need to register at the Maritime Forum and then in the community of the European Blue Schools, so that we can then work together on this. What I can advise you is to stay tuned on our webpage, because we will be releasing all these really soon. So whether you're a teacher who wants to register your project, your school, or you are an organization that wants to be involved and to assist in work together with schools, you will have that. You will have the chance to do that.
Brilliant. And I think, Evie, very quickly, how can universities get involved?
Yes, well, there is certainly no age limit to who can develop a blue project. But there are certainly other ways that universities can also be involved in. I would advise them to become a member of our community, and then we can start seeing what they can do. Perhaps I'm just thinking out loud, developing a course on a certain topic. That would be excellent.
Yeah, or they could work together with schools from their region and assist them getting the certification, for instance. That could be also another way.
And maybe also the amazing research that's done in universities, that, you know, if you know that there's a local blue school in your area, you know, pass that on. It could be some great training for graduates, early career scientists, how to be with children and help them understand perhaps the complex research that you're doing. So there's loads of ways. Oh wow, we're getting lots of questions now, but don't worry everybody, these, as I said, are going to be saved, and we will answer them all, and they're going to go into an FAQ, frequently asked questions, part of the website that we will make public when the time is right, because I don't want us to run out of time, because I believe that we've got the next section of our workshop is going to be really exciting, because we have some teachers with us from Portugal, Romania, Croatia, Sweden and Austria, and they're going to give us some examples of the work that they have been doing, how they've already been finding the blue. So again, keep those questions coming in Slido, and then if there are any questions at the end of this section, we'll take a couple of those too. So we'll just go through in the order that I have here. So the first teacher who I'm going to introduce you to is Maria Manuela Valentim from Portugal, and she's already unmuted. Perfect, very good. So Maria, please, can you tell us about your project in 2 minutes?
It's a pleasure to be here, and as Nicola has said, I represent a Portuguese Blue School project called Mar Nostrum. Wait just a minute. Okay. And as Nicola has said already, I'm Manuela Valentim, and I'm a teacher at Dr. Alberto Iria School in Olhão, in the south of Portugal. So what I wanted to discuss with you now is what is it, a blue school? Okay, so you have here. Oh, sorry. Blue School educational program of the Portuguese Ministry of the Sea, developed at the Directorate General for Maritime Policy. Blue School encouraged schools to explore ocean issues through structured and interdisciplinary strategies, aiming for a social impact both in the participation of different partners and through the involvement of local communities. That's very important. The Blue School program also relies on partnerships with a great variety of entities connected to the sea who provide multidisciplinary marine education actions directed at Blue Schools. With that, I'm referring to useful resources provided by them. So how to become a Blue School? So starting by an online registration on the Blue School website, you apply, you submit your application, your project school, that will be revised by a scientific commission and the Blue team itself, who will give you some recommendations in order to become a successful project and to be implemented, fully implemented. Now, so Blue School criteria, we have 8 criteria that we have to decide which ocean issue do we want to tackle with our project, encourage students to take actions, and by that we mean to make them change makers. Okay, so become active citizens, including different subjects, local community, involving local community, engaging students of different ages and grades, interact with partners network, that's very important, select 2 Blue School ambassadors that will represent the project on a national level, and communicate our actions in our Blue School Facebook group. Now, we also tackle and approach a multi-perspective of ocean literacy with its 7 principles, as we all know it. And our project aims is to promote ocean literacy and strengthen the link between the sea sector and school. In my case, we address the issue of Rio Formosa's preservation because, as I said before, previously I live in the south of Portugal, in Olhão, and we are surrounded by our beautiful Rio Formosa. And we also tackle the importance of water in maintaining life, sustainable water resource management for ecosystem balance, renewable energy production for a sustainable economy, adaptation to climate change, and the importance of the SDGs, particularly Goal 14. That's the one that is most focused on our project. So we approach a project-based learning with 3 steps: identifying a problem and doing research. So the students would choose a local problem with which they felt related with, something that they can identify with. We can also find solutions, and with that we let the students decide what they want to work, and divide the tasks between them and the responsibilities in order to make them critical thinkers and active citizens. The outcome of the project can be in many formats. In our case, we decided to build a website that's called Mar Nostrum, where we gather all the information that the students research and all the projects and all the works done by them and the workshops they were involved in, and as well as the partners we work close with. And we get to involve all 8th grade classes in our school and 2 5th grade classes as well. And this is about 130 students and 15 teachers. And of course, it's a project to be continued for the next 2 years. And with our website, we participated in a national contest called Side Star, and we won the 2nd place in the environmental sustainability category. And this is our website. I'm just going to give you a quick tour of it. It's only currently in Portuguese, but this year it's our mission to work on the English version to be available for everyone. So as you can see, our homepage, we are proud to be a Blue School. And we tackle SDG 14, the sustainability of the oceans, littering the sea, the endanger of marine species, also the 2030 agenda. And of course, we encourage all of you to join us and become a Blue School. So in our website, we have all our goals, our interesting projects we are involved with, also with the University of the Algarve, that's running a project in one of the islands that is here nearby. The agenda, the 2030 agenda, this is an exhibition made by the kids, their works, and this is the celebration of the National Blue School Day that was celebrated for the first time this year on the 19th of May during the lockdown, and we managed in national-wide, so the Blue team really did an amazing work with all the teachers. We get to involve all the students, their families, the community, even my headmistress made a video to celebrate the Blue School Day, and we also involved the municipality and some of the partners we work with. Just quick, I'm going to finish. I know that you have more teachers present. And educational impact in this case. So as I have told you, we won the second prize, and we got a note of appreciation by the regional education delegate of the Algarve, Dr. Alexandre Martins Lima, that congratulated us for contributing to the valorization of education in the district, as well as to the national project. So next step, of course, will be to work on the English vision and hopefully be available for everyone to consult it. Thank you for your time and attention. If you want to reach out, I will leave you my email and our website. And that's it. Thank you.
Oh, so good. You're amazing. What a brilliant project. That's absolutely fantastic. Really inspirational, but not out of the reach. If you put some work in, we can do this. It's brilliant. Well done. So next, we have a project with a really lovely title, Once Upon a Time in the Sea. And the two teachers are Adriana Constantinescu and Emilia Șercan from Romania. So I'm sorry if I didn't say your names quite right. But please, over to you.
Thank you for presentation. It's very well. Hello everyone. I present our project from Romania called Once Upon a Time in the Sea. The aim of the project is both to form a responsible civic, social, and ecological behavior and to develop among students and teachers linguistic, digital, and communication by integrating European values in the process of education and training, thus raising the quality of the process education in partner schools. At the same time,
I think maybe you could maybe turn the music off.
By
just so that we can hear you.
Change learning of good practices as a result of cooperation and participation in teaching, learning, training activities organized in partner schools. Its attractive title appears as a common denominator for educational institutions in Italy, Spain, Romania, and Portugal, located near the Mediterranean, the Black Sea, and the Atlantic Ocean. For all partners, the marine environment has become a learning space, the project participants being involved in activities that contribute to the formation of a proper attitude towards the marine environment by addressing specific issues in school activities through interdisciplinary lessons using the CIALL method in teaching, or by creating curricula for optional courses like Sea from Legend to Art and Children and the Sea. Thus, teachers and professors of various specializations have promoted and applied differentiated interactive methods and created captivating teaching materials that can support students with a slower pace of learning, those with special educational needs, or those from socially and economically disadvantaged backgrounds. The project proved to be very attractive for students and teachers due to the diversity of activities included in implementation plans, video conferences, transnational seminars, online symposia on various topics, biodiversity of the marine environment, main ports or holiday destinations, a legal framework specific to each partner country, protection and conservation of coastal areas, water sports and their representatives. Sea art exhibitions, drawings, paintings, literary creation contests made by students in both native and English were organized, a mini dictionary, and there was created a mini atlas entitled The World with It. The idea of involving students in research activities that would contribute to the formation of skills to protect the marine environment has taken shape by organizing video conferences, symposia and thematic seminars like Our Sea in Daily Life, Sea Travelers, Closer to Our Sea, The Sea Past, Present and Future, One Sea Waves, The Sea, a Source of Inspiration in Art, Water, Essence of Life, Sea Life Preservation. In order to understand the problem of marine ecosystem, teachers from the 4 partner schools have prepared some lesson plans which the coordinator has brought together in a methodical guide for learning activities, which excels both in a term of graphics and content. Stimulating motivation to explore the natural values of the sea from a cultural artistic perspective was the goal that allowed students to write pages inspired by both verse and prose. In sea poems, there are remarkable messages related to the marine environment. The involvement, originality, and creativity of the students have materialized in all these final products with high quality, both in graphics and especially in content, which by posting online can be educational resources for those interested. All the projects can be found on the website www.onceuponatimelinetheSea.ro, on the eTwinning platform, on a Facebook page, can be accessed free of charge, representing real educational resources for all those interested. Through the joint efforts of all partners, we hope that at the end of this project, we will contribute to removing communication barriers between students and teachers from different geographical areas and to behavioral changes in people's relationship with the environment, especially the marine, and future generations not to have to say, the sea, once upon a time.
Thank you. Could you just mute the music, maybe? Oh, amazing. A small amount of work there. Fantastic photographs of everything that you've done, and a huge, great example to other teachers. So yes, thanks for providing your contact details so that others can get in touch. Brilliant. Okay, so What is the Sea is the title of the next project, which is Korina Lukacic and Nina Plisko from Croatia.
My name is Nina Plisko and I'm a teacher in primary school in Marciana. Marciana is a village in the region of Istria, the largest Croatian peninsula. The need to teach about sea and sea life arises from the fact that Istria is surrounded by sea on 3 sides. Many of our pupils participate in different projects every year. What is the Sea, Čermore, is a region of Istria heritage course project that included pupils from the 1st to 4th grade, as well as older pupils, 5th to 8th graders, who joined for more difficult tasks. The goal of the project was the dialect of the region and long-forgotten words. A lot was spoken by the sea, sea life, various fish and other sea creatures, and facts about it. There's a lot of benefit for people from the sea, and that is why we have to protect it from pollution. The project was paid most attention in Croatian language lessons, mainly dialect and native speech, but was also explored and deepened throughout other lessons, like art, music, informatics, etc. The project started with a visit to Aquarium Pula, where we met plenty of plants and animals, inhabitants of the Adriatic Sea. It was followed by a lecture by scientific associate from Ruđer Bošković Institute, about marine biodiversity and marine organisms. During the lecture, the emphasis was on sea creatures, which were chosen to explore by class departments. Stories were created using native speech and dialect, and later presented in a picture book. Each class department created a story or a song about a marine animal they had chosen. Later, the stories were translated into native speech. Local population helped us remember some of the unfortunately forgotten words. We were delighted and amazed by the words that fell into oblivion. It is sweet to hear them again among the younger generations. Each class department then designed an illustration for their own story. A soundtrack CD was attached to the picture book in order to hear and present the native speech dialect of Marciana and its surroundings more widely. Our computer science teacher helped us make some games which were also added to the CD. After winter vacation, we decided to make our project visually recognizable and design a project logo. We had a lot of ideas, and it was very hard to choose one. As we were speaking about the importance of the sea and coastal preservation, we decided to print our logo on canvas bag in order to raise awareness on the problem of plastic bags as well as the problem with other waste that gets into the sea. Walking along the sea, we collected sea raft, and using them we made Christmas tree, sculptures, various paintings and installations. We designed a sea box, an aquarium. We made magnets and jewelry with marine motifs using clay, timber mass and argil. In order to accompany everything by song, the fourth graders sang in a traditional way the song What is the Sea? C'è amore. This project helped us remember forgotten wars and the importance of preserving them, as preserving the sea, which motivated us. We presented everything we did and learned at the Festival of Heritage, which took place in Umag last year. The project was also presented during the project day of our school in the native speech.
Okay, so moving on, we now have the project called Virtue S with Mikael Olsen from Sweden.
The Virtue project is today, since 3 years, funded by Erasmus program. So it's for the moment with 5 languages, 4 countries. That this is not the United Kingdom. They are not with us anymore, more or less. European Union, it's United States, Sweden, Catalonia, and Spain, and German. And it's all about explore aquatic biodiversity using different kind of tools, from scientific knowledge about species to picture them, taking photos, drawings, paintings, etc., to understand what's below the surface. And it's also about freshwater systems, but this one is concerning the marine environments. Sorry. This is the base for it. It's what we call a rack. It's plastic discs. From the beginning we use CD discs, but we have abandoned them because they are too fragile. We use more durable materials so they can be reused, and lower it, deploy them into the sea, and wait until something will happen on them. This is the basic, the idea. So we provide parts for them so the schools can build them themselves. And then we wait to see what will happen. The progression, how the biofilm will develop after time, from seconds to hours, days and weeks. And for example, in Northern Europe, we deploy them in April, May, something like that. And then we retrieve them in September, October, and it could look like this, for example. It's a lot of creatures there to be studied by naked eye, by stereo loops, microscopes, etc., etc. And of course, you want to share your results, pictures, videos, stories about what you have found, and try to explain why they are there, why they are not there anymore, how they arrived, how they attach to the surface. So this is from most of them from the West Coast because it originated here, but also in Europe, the United States. So there are several deployments on each of these small Google Map structures. And you can retrieve what you have entered to our database, or what others has done too. There is, for example, also biodiversity calculators, an interactive resource if you want to find out different kind of ways to describe the biodiversity in water, for example. There are a lot more resources. Explore it on our website. And we also use video as a learning tool. Not that teachers should produce videos for the students, but vice versa. So the students produce videos for showing what they have, what's their hypothesis, and how they have made their experiments, what they found, and then share it to the community. Altogether, our students in the 3 countries has produced 65 videos, and I will now show you a part of one of them. If you can't hear it, or if it's too bad sound or something like that, you have the web link here, and I heard that you will share it in other ways too.
Biofouling is how it grows elves and animals on boats' hull. Why this is interesting and important is because it fouls elves, which then slows down the boat. To prevent that elves are growing on the hulls, is there different solutions. You can drive a boat up on a vacuum plate, have boat lifts and underwater wash.
Some days ago, we took up a wreck that had been in the sea for 1 year. Here we saw how algae and other organisms grew. On the upper side of the disc, it was 31 barnacle, and on the other side, it was 46. The underside was covered in 95% of bryozonas. Species we found was Filamentous algae, Gamorus, Electra spearviolet, Bristol worm, and Pilayella.
And EU Blue School colleagues. It's really an honor to be here among so many who, like myself, are really passionate about protecting the ocean. My name is Peter Hill. I am an art and biology teacher in Vienna, Austria, and I'm the founder of Kids Save Ocean and also the Fate Changer app. I would like to tell you a story about the potential of young people to protect the ocean and offer a proposal about how we can bring them to the center of gravity of ocean advocacy and leadership, really. This project started a little over 3 years ago when I was teaching art, and in my art class, I brought in some biology and taught them about plastic ocean pollution, which they didn't know about at the time. They were horrified. Of course, I suggested that we build something out of the very trash that goes into the ocean that will really reflect the issue and bring attention to it. So we decided together to build a giant whale out of trash. They were incredible. It took 6 months. They were ferocious warriors the entire time, and what they created was really beautiful. This we thought was not enough impact that it had, so we decided to approach the United Nations with the idea of a Children's Clean Ocean Summit. We had that. It was a huge success. The kids ran the entire thing. They taught each other about the problems and also the solutions to plastic ocean pollution. And then they prioritized what they thought should be done. We took this prioritized list and embedded it in a document that they themselves wrote called the Children's Clean Ocean Declaration. And then after this was created at the summit, all the kids signed the declaration, and then we sent it to every world leader. We've since personally heard from well over 20 and many other ministries and whatnot also sent us a lot of letters. responding to their call for action. The whale sculpture, which is called The Last Whale, recognizing what will happen if we don't change our ways in the ocean, has been exhibited twice already. First at the United Nations for World Environmental Day, in which the kids also gave speeches about plastic ocean pollution. It's also been over a month in the Austrian Academy of Sciences, where it really served as kind of a spiritual focal point of a global conference about sustainability that they had there. The next scheduled exhibition is at the Haus des Meeres, which is Austria's largest aquarium. It should hopefully start in November, and it will feature the whale sculpture, the declaration, the original declaration, the letters from world leaders, the story about what the kids have accomplished, and information about plastic ocean pollution, and also the Fate Changer app. The Fate Changer app is now in beta. It will soon be released on iOS and then in Android. It's something that I really co-designed with kids, and it was developed by an incredible network of volunteers around the world. It is packed with youth-centric resources about plastic ocean pollution, climate change, sustainability, and then it links learning to activism. Letter writing campaigns, policy hijack campaigns. There's a toolkit that show kids how to work with local government. And the overall goal is really to build a network large enough that we can statistically sample youth opinion, and in doing so argue for a formal voting seat in the United Nations for kids. We've done our due diligence, it's possible. The project has been recognized in many, many languages around the world. So the proposal I have is that we create a textbook that includes incredibly powerful stories about plastic ocean pollution, other issues in the ocean, written by the world's best writers, really in the model of a magazine. We could take that information and link that powerful literature directly to activism through the app. This could be distributed through the aquariums within Europe, providing the aquariums with some excellent material. Also, any teachers that happen to go through the aquarium, and there are a lot of them, and also for the general public, because it would really be a crossover type of project, both between educational and popular publishing. I am sure that the world's best writers will answer the call for very little, because it's a really powerful project. I already have on board David Carson, who is one of the world's most famous graphic designers, certainly the coolest graphic designer on the planet. I will be open to any alliances. Please contact me if you have any questions or ideas or connections. You can reach me through kidsaveocean.com. And I will leave you with the teaser for the app, which you'll see was created by the kids as well. If you give them an opportunity, they will change the world. Thank you.
Wow, that is really powerful. Amazing. So I think there's probably so many questions on Slido for the presentations that we've just seen. Vanessa, maybe we can have just a very quick look, and we'll take one question.
You have the questions now?
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
so looking for questions about the presentations that have just happened, or are we all, we're all amazed? In that case, we'll keep that one, we can answer that one on the FAQs on the website. Thank you, Ocean Conservation Trust. So I think we will move on, because we've got lots more to get through. So what we want to do next is actually something a little bit interactive, because we want your opinions on what next steps we need to take, specifically regarding the teacher training courses that are going to be part of the Blue School network. So we're going to be doing some polls, which are going, I hope, to appear on the screen. Oh, fantastic. So I'll tell you how to do this in just a minute, because there is just a very small chance here for me to just quickly introduce myself. You've seen me maybe this morning, here I am now. So I'm the president of EMSI, which is the European Marine Science Educators Association. And we have a mission to connect teachers and scientists and policymakers across Europe to promote ocean literacy and to have a healthy ocean for the future. So that's why EMSI's been so proud to be part of this project, because this really fits with everything that we're all about. Me personally, my job is to be the head of education and conservation and communications for the Ocean Conservation Trust, actually. So one of my colleagues is here asking questions. So we run the National Marine Aquarium in Plymouth in the UK. So great to hear Peter saying there about how aquariums can support ocean literacy and support such a Blue School network. We teach about 30,000 school children a year, and hundreds of thousands of people come through our doors, although not this year really. So very, very happy to be part of this project and do what we can to provide ocean literacy for everybody. So this bit here, oh, you've already started, you're so good, thank you so much. What we're asking for you to do is really to vote for your most, the principle you think is most important in terms of the professional development that we would like to happen through Blue Schools. You know, we don't want this to just be a 2-year project and then it goes away. How can we embed the ocean, and what professional development for teachers in schools that will be required to do this? How is the Blue School network going to last for more than 2 years? What things are going to need to happen? So if you can vote for your key principles that you think are the most important, if it's all of them, that's great. If there's 1 or 2 that really stick out for you as the most important, maybe you could click on those as well. So I think we'll give this another couple of seconds. I'm going to look in our participant group here. There are 124 of us, so it would be good if we could get at least half of you having clicked on your key principle or 2. So we're at 38 now. Come on, folks. This is your chance really to shape this part of EU4Ocean. If you vote now, God, it's like one of those TV programs, isn't it? Simon Cowell's going to walk by in a moment. If you vote now, you will be having your say in terms of what we need to be helping teachers with, what support, how is this project going to be professionalized. So somebody's just saying, hi Kushla, I don't have access to the poll. If you've got your phone, you can scan the QR code, or you can go onto the slido.com website, just put slido.com into your search engine, and then it will ask you to put in your code, which is #EUBlueSchool. Oh, we're on 54. Oh, she did that. In that case, Kushla, I don't know. If any of my colleagues from Ciencia Viva can answer that question. Slido website poll not visible.
Yeah, it should be just to use that hashtag EU in caps, blue in caps, and school in caps, but only blue and school only the first letter. So it might be that, and blue school, not blue schools. Try that.
Okay.
I put the hashtag now in the chat. If you can copy and paste and put it in the Slido in the left corner bottom. Okay.
Okay, so
Nicole, if you want, we can pass to the other poll.
Yes, I was just going to say, let's move on. So we've got the results there. That is saved. That's locked in. So mobilising beyond the classroom. What can we do to bring this to life so it's not just sitting at a desk and reading a book? How, you know, and we've seen examples of that. So yes, can we have the next one, please, on the screen? Topics. So again, if there's one of these topics that you think is most important, please vote for that one, or if you think they are all important, go ahead. Let's get the most that we can from this. And then to prepare you for our next poll, we're simply going to ask you in the next bit to just write a topic, one word, please, no double words, and it will make a word cloud. So how, you know, how are we going to deliver this? What topic, if it's not mentioned here, should be included in our training for teachers? Okay, climate and ocean, really important. Thanks everybody. Let's get it up to 65. The last one was 65, 61, 64. One more, come on, come on, come on. No. Oh, there we go. Right. And the word cloud, please. So your word, what's not written there? Climate, ocean, healthy, clean ocean, food from the ocean. Type your word in, and let's see if we can build a word cloud. What are the other important things? And talking of that, we should move on to the next part of today's workshop. And I'm really pleased to introduce now somebody who I've known for a few years now and who is fantastic. So Ana Noronha is Executive Director of the Pavilion of Knowledge, Ciência Viva in Lisbon, Portugal, and she leads the Blue School team. So she knows what she's talking about. She's a physicist with a career in both space and marine science, and actually any type of science education. And she is really one of the most influential people in enhancing ocean literacy in Europe. So Anna, you're going to be chairing a roundtable now for some different opinions about networking in ocean literacy around the world and in Europe. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola, for these undeserved words. Thank you. Well, I am very happy to be here. Good afternoon to everybody. And I am in fact from Ciência Viva, Portugal, and I coordinate the task of the network of European Blue Schools for DG Mare within the EU4Ocean Coalition. So it is a pleasure for me to have here to discuss possible synergies with other institutions and projects across Europe, European institutions. I have been very thankful to DG Mare to have introduced us to them and to be able to have them here. We are going to see what are to discuss the benefits and synergies that this network of European Blue Schools can have with these European institutions and projects. And I have the pleasure to have here with us Andréane Marcin from Seascape. Seascape manages EMODNet and European Atlas of the Sea for DG Mare. We have also Águeda Graz Velasquez, who is the Science Program Manager for the U-Schoolnet. And we have Mark Willikens, Head of Knowledge Management Technologies, Communities and Dissemination of the Joint Research Forum, the Joint Research Center is, as you know, the European Science Hub to support the EU policy based on science. And Vladimir Garkov, who is from the Direction of General Education, Youth, Sports and Culture of the European Commission. And he's one of the authors of a recent report by the Joint Research Center, policy report, defining the European framework for competencies, what that should be acquired in formal and non-formal education. The report is called LifeComp, and it is readily available on the internet. He has also been an analyst of the PISA results and the impact on policies on the member states. So welcome to this roundtable, and thank you for being available for this participation. I would start with André and Marsan because of the European Atlas of the Sea that is now translated in all official language of the European Union. And I would like her to just give some examples briefly about what kind of information teachers can get from European Atlas of the Sea, which I guess will be a very important tool for some of these projects.
Yes, thank you, Anna. So we'll just start with a few words about what is the European Atlas of the Seas for people who don't know this tool. So it's a catalog of marine maps, scientific data and information presented in a user-friendly way for the general public, students, teachers, and the official tool dedicated to ocean literacy from the European Commission, DG Mare. And as we said, we are really proud to see that it's now available in 24 languages, so becoming an even more accessible and useful tool in classroom. So behind of me, you have an example. I'm with my colleague Natalie as well. So behind of us, you have a map, an example of a map, but we have in the Atlas a catalog of more than 285 maps, and the catalog is growing every month. And we have information about different topics such as ocean energy, coastal geology, aquaculture, marine birds observation, ferry routes, and much, much more. So
thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
May I pass to the next round? Then I will make more questions. These are all topics that are available for Blue Schools to explore and to develop their projects. We'll come over to you again. Agatha Graz Velasquez, so from European Schoolnet. European Schoolnet has helped us in the identification of entry points for the marine in the curricula of different European countries. So she's a specialist in education in European Schoolnet, of course. And also tell me, European Schoolnet has experience in creating labels, for example, the STEM school label. So these labels help schools to develop projects. In your opinion, what is the importance of the development of projects in schools nowadays?
So thank you for having me. Now, there's two aspects. One is it's important to develop projects because it's a way of connecting to real life. You can actually see, as actually Maria Manuela Valentin was saying it before, that you actually get to see what's the problem, what are the possible solutions, and actually have then possible outcomes. So you connect these classrooms to real life situations, as that through projects is a way to do it. Now labels, which is what projects give you, is actually a way to recognize the work. So it's actually a way of saying teachers, schools, and students, you've actually done a good job. So it's not something just for your development, but it actually gives them the visibility and the credit that they deserve. And in many cases, teachers and schools do not get in usual terms. So it's a very good need.
Thank you, Agida. Thank you. I now pass to Mark Willekens. Marx, I know that the Joint Research Center is developing education programs and resources for schools. And we would like to know what are the existing resources and if you are planning future resources that might be important for to help these teachers to develop their Blue School projects.
Great, thank you very much, Anna. Good afternoon to everybody. So as you said, the JRC is at the interface of science and policy making. So we are quite an interesting organization as part of the European Commission. I will leave it to my colleague Vladimir in DG EAC to speak about competence frameworks on which we also collaborate, which are very concrete tools actually, which we have been developing with DG EAC, and focus immediately on being the science arm of the European Commission. We actually do hands-on science in support to the production and implementation of European policies. So we have a very big capacity, also hands-on laboratory capacity in environmental sciences, reaching from biodiversity to transport and mobility, water. For water in particular, we are working very much on water quality, on monitoring fish stocks by means of satellite imagery, a global water surface water atlas and explorer, beach litter characterization. So just a few examples where the EU works, or where the EU is active in terms of policy making, where there needs some scientific evidence where we provide that. So we have indeed a school program since a few years now, which is part of a wider science outreach program, which objective obviously is to disseminate our science to society in a much wider spectrum. We think that indeed we have to invest much more in youth and in schools and teacher programs to better exploit our science, package it, and then disseminate it to schools based on their needs. So we have started indeed this year also a digital program, also taking into account obviously the issues we have now with COVID. And we are starting to map and package into a MOOC framework different of these packages. We are focusing now on environmental and sustainability issues with topics starting from biodiversity and alien species. And we will then next year move to other topics, including also water, by the way, energy and mobility, etc.
So these are, thank you very much. So these are really good news for us, because we will be able to tap into those resources that are digital, so they can be available for everybody. So, and I will go for the first round with Vladimir Garkov, that you have been just finishing the life comp. So in your opinion, can marine education projects contribute to acquire the competencies that we want within this European framework?
Yes, to express my gratitude to JRC. Mark has mentioned it was a joint effort on part of mostly done by JRC, and we helped develop this framework. That particular framework is built on the general key competencies framework, which consists of 8 key competencies for lifelong learning. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your question was about what does marine schools and blue schools rather, and marine projects have to do with developing the social, personal, and learning to learn. And I'm sorry, it's really kind of a combination of several aspects of these, which may not sound particularly related to each other. However, I feel that it is apparent how important the importance of the contribution those efforts make to the development of these competencies. Now, let me just give you one example. We talk about personal, for example. Personal competence, key competence, includes 3 components: well-being, flexibility, and self-regulation. Now, within the concept of well-being, the idea is to include adoption of sustainable lifestyle. In terms of flexibility, it is managing transitions and uncertainty, facing challenges. Then self-regulation, and then I would like also to add, in terms of the social, the competence framework talks about collaboration, engagement in group activity, communication, empathy, understanding of another person's emotions and experiences, and most importantly, the learning to learn, because that is the underpinning tool for development of all competencies is the growth mindset and critical thinking, assessment of information and arguments to support reasoned conclusions. So all of these aspects I just kind of browsed through very quickly are clearly embedded in the projects that this effort covers.
Thank you. Thank you. Those are very encouraging words for us and for the community of teachers that are hearing us, knowing that by developing these projects, their projects in schools, they are effectively contributing for their students to get the competencies according to the European framework. Maybe, I know we are very late, but that's because we started this roundtable late. So maybe we have time for a quick round, a quick second round to the table. So before leaving, because we have to really explore these synergies with our speakers. So I would go back to Andrea and Marcin, asking who wants to explain everything about European Atlas of the Sea, but unfortunately we don't have time here. But as you have seen, the teachers are wanting trainings about ocean and climate, and I bet the European Atlas of the Sea has lots of information that they can explore there. So my second question to you is, are you available to help us in to participate in those teacher training courses?
Yeah, absolutely. I will be delighted. We really want to contribute, because today I don't have the time to explain all the possibilities related to the Atlas. It's not just about information, but it's a tool where students can learn how to read a map, can also create their own map, combining layers and draw conclusion out of it. So I will be absolutely delighted to explain more how the teacher can use this tool in the classroom to support their lesson, and also to have a discussion how actual teachers are using the Atlas of the Seas and gather more feedback from teachers as well.
Thank you. And they can produce beautiful maps, that the one you have behind you, very professional maps. Okay. And so to Agata, I would ask the same thing. So how is the European SchoolNet wanting to contribute to collaborate in our teacher trainings? And also, how do you see our effort contributing for the development of education in general?
So we're going to be very, very happy to collaborate in the framework of Scientex, the Community for Science Education in Europe. We can co-organize workshops, we can do training, we can do dissemination. And honestly, there's no one solution for everything, but I think this European Blue Schools initiative is going to really make a difference in terms of bringing an important topic to education and getting kids to understand it more. So we're looking forward to seeing how it develops.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Mark Willikens, so do you think the network of European Blue Schools that we are creating can be a contribution to educate a new generation that makes Europe more inclusive, more resilient, more creative as well? What do you think? Also, by connecting with the blue topics, maybe people will also connect with the blue economy and see what the ocean brings into our societies. How do you see this in the future of Europe?
Okay, so well, first of all, I would like to congratulate you with this initiative. It's really fantastic. That's the things we should do, actually, to promote our younger people for the future. If I put it a little bit more in a wider context, I think Carla has actually explained it in a very excellent way. What is the objective of the network and how it creates this European dimension? But clearly, there's a clear link there with what we know all of now, that one of the key strategic objectives of the European Union is the Green Deal. And one important aspect there, also expressed very much by President von der Leyen, is this idea of citizen engagement and change in behavior. Because we have come to the conclusion that investment is okay, investment in green technologies, in mobility, new mobility, etc. But we also would need to change the behavior of people actually to make sure that we become climate neutral by 2050. So therefore, mobilization across the member states is really a key aspect here, which also the European Commission now is actually promoting very much. On the other hand, we also note now recently very much more interest in European educational systems linked to the new EU recovery plan, which is on the table, with lots of funding which would be available, which can be and should be invested in educational systems in the different member states. And COVID, as we all know, has had a major impact on the ways of learning, teaching, and communication. So hence I think that the role of initiatives like the Blue School Network will be key in fostering cooperation between different member states, schools, teacher groups, etc. And I think you put it very nicely, I think also Carla or another speaker, that you would want to become young people to become agents of change, which is actually linked to what I said before, the behavioral aspects, which we need to promote very much more. Also, I think that the network, apart from mapping and making available relevant content and share that across different countries, I think it would also be very interesting to look at also the process-related aspects. So how you do the networking, how you do co-creation between different groups, experts, schools, teachers, and raise awareness about this, and also share that expertise and knowledge between the different members of the group. And last but not least, I think that mobilizing networks and coalitions to share concrete examples that inspire others will be a very much an added value of your network in the future. Okay, so I think this is really a great initiative, and I'm actually very happy it's going to happen, and we look forward actually to be able to collaborate with you in the future.
Thank you so much. Those are really very encouraging words for you. Also because in the focus groups and the debates that you carried out across Europe to prepare this handbook and this label, one of the things that teachers said immediately that they valued and that they wanted to be part was the European dimension, to exchange their experience with the other European colleagues from other regions. And that was one of the points that they stressed a lot. So it is very good to make this connection from the top scientific institutions in the European Commission and from the teachers from the ground around with the communities that they can manage to create around. This is really, really very, very, very helpful and very, very very good for us. Vladimir, the second question is, how do you see this question can be very ambitious or can be more short. How do you see the evolution of education in Europe in the forthcoming years? Is the education that we presently have preparing our students, our citizens for the challenges that are coming?
Oh, well, this,
I know.
Especially the second question, it's of course yes and no. As Mark mentioned, the thing is that the world is different now, and our current Commission, the European Commission priorities are different. They have changed dramatically. The focus now is on the green transition, on digital transition, and as we all know, the current still ongoing crisis with COVID-19 and the reaction to this threat led to dramatic changes in the way we teach, in the expectations. Everything was kind of accelerated, all the changes, all the expectations. Everything went into on steroids. What to do, how to do it better, how are we going to address the future? And now, in line with the Green Deal, we are committed. The Green Deal specifically mentioned, I'm sorry to have to say it again, yet another framework, another framework which will be on sustainable development, education for sustainable development and climate change. Because as you know, at the European level, we cannot really prescribe to schools what to do. We can only give some reference materials, provide a recommendation, and that's about it. So how can we achieve that? As I said, we will be talking, we will be working on a new educational framework, as well as looking at ways to address the current issues of not only sustainable development, but also of the digital, the role of the digital. And you just reminded me about something, okay? Are we doing it properly? Well, I don't know. Nobody knows. And if you look, I was just listening to a podcast by Stanford University psychologist who presented some data about how different today's students are from, let's say, from 1979 to 2009. This was the evidence, and it's mind-boggling. And especially for older folks like me, it's a different world. And these students, today's students, are much more in trouble psychologically, big time, in comparison to the way we grew up. So here again, LifeComp is one tool. As I said, we are working on another one. We are starting our work on another together with JRC, of course, and with our stakeholders to try to find at least common language, common understanding of what it means to be talking about education for sustainable development or environmental sustainability. As you know, the biodiversity strategy of the Commission, which was recently adopted, specifically talks about those issues. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done.
There's a lot of work. Well, but certainly the competence of learning to learn will help. I am sure that one will help a lot. And what we expect is that indeed these teachers and the students, while they develop their projects, will learn to learn and will acquire those competencies. I am sorry, we have to close. We are already behind the schedule. I thank you very, very much for your precious time. Your words and information you gave us and the perspectives of collaboration are very, very important for us. So thank you very much for
inviting us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Before leaving, we would just like to take a group photo as we would.
Ah, that's right. You have to take a group photo. Yes, so, please do.
Unfortunately, we can't have all our still 90 participants with us on this because Zoom webinar doesn't allow, but at least for the speakers. So it's only Michael missing. Not sure if Michael is still with us, but I'm going to do here kind of a print. So you all just smile. Thank you.
Look how happy we look.
So, and
really happy.
Yeah. And thank you all for being part of this. And don't forget that tomorrow we will have workshops that will be about the different thematic groups and also about sea basins. So you are all invited to participate. Tomorrow, the workshops will be more participative. There will be breakout rooms, etc. Well, as much as we can do in this virtual environment. So I thank you all very much for participating, and please, all of you disseminate this idea of making schools blue and belonging to the European network of blue schools. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.